Hi, I'm Abby Gilliland, and this is my capstone. When thinking of a capstone, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. And I always thought a capstone had to be this massive project that took several hours and included dozens of people. Then I sat down with Mrs. New, and she told me that a capstone could also be very personal and only impact maybe one or two people. So that got me thinking. I could build a ramp for my grandmother. Since a couple of Thanksgivings ago, she came over to our house, and since she's on a walker, she struggled getting in the door. She then broke her arm and was in rehab for 2 months. Since then, she hasn't been over to our house in a couple years, so we really missed her being there for Christmas and other holidays. Then the other thing I thought of was for pep band. We usually play the same songs every year over and over, and we're always looking for new songs to include into our inventory. So I thought, why not start updating some of the songs, since most of them are from when Mr. Wilson picked them out. So for the ramp, my fears and concerns, I had no idea where to start, and so then I sat down with my dad, who helped me build the ramp, and we made some blueprints and sketches of what the ramp was going to look like. We had to take some measurements of the doorway and of the step, and the hardest part was figuring out how long the ramp was going to be. We eventually decided the ramp was going to be 12 feet long. That way it had a low enough slope for my grandmother to get up it. So my expectations for the ramp. I was really expecting the build to go smoothly, and I really was hoping that we would run into no complications along the way. Thankfully we didn't, and I was expecting the build to take several days, but it only actually took 5 or 6 hours. So I was glad about that it only took a short amount of time to build. So building the ramp. Since we don't often build ramps, we had no idea where to start. So we looked online and we came across this website called wheelchairrampkits.com. So that helped us because it gave detailed instructions on how to build different types of ramps in different sizes. So we picked out the size we needed and we printed it off and got to work. We screwed 3 2x12s together with 3 2x4s. Then we placed 2 2x4s on either side of the ramp so that the wheelchair or the walker would not slide off of the ramp. Then we put 4 strips of non-slick tape on the ramp so that as my grandmother was going up the ramp, she wasn't also sliding back down. Then the other thing they kept provided was 2 steel plates to go on the top and bottom of the ramp. That way, my grandmother could easily get onto the ramp and off of the ramp, not have to step onto the ramp. The impact from the project. Since it was personal, it really only impacted my grandmother, and she was so grateful for it. I was so thankful that she was able to use the ramp and that she could come over now more often. And the important lessons I learned from the build. I really didn't expect to be building a ramp in my lifetime, so I really don't take anything for granted anymore, and neither does my grandmother. Since she has limited mobility, she doesn't often let that slow her down. Every time I see her, she's always in a positive mood and always trying to encourage me or support me in whatever I do. So she was so grateful that I thought of her and built a ramp for her so that she could come over now more often, and I was so grateful that she was able to use it easily. I wanted to give back something to her because she's always giving back to me at most of her time. If I was given the chance to start over on the project, I would probably build it the exact same way because it turned out so great. We were able to make it portable so that we could store it in the garage, and that way we could not have it permanent. I was glad that I was able to make it personal for my grandmother and have her really enjoy it and be able to come over more often. And I was glad that I could be a servant to her as she has done for me for many years. So for pep band, I really had no idea where to start and where to get the music or what songs I wanted to update. So first I had to sit down with Mr. Mole, and he helped me go through the inventory in the band room of all the songs so that we could find what songs we had and what songs we didn't and what songs we thought about updating. So my expectations for this project. I thought I would find so many songs to update and so many to get rid of. And then I also thought that everybody would be so enthused about the project. Everybody was enthused and they were happy that we were updating music, but I wasn't able to find as many songs as I had thought. Since most of the songs Mr. Wilson had purchased back in the day, not many of them were up to date. So during the games, before the games, we would rehearse the new songs, and then during the games, we would play the new songs, and the crowd really seemed to enjoy them, and so did the band members. I was so happy that everyone liked the new songs, and they were getting added to the inventory. Some of the new songs that I added were the Batman theme, the Imperial March from Star Wars, and Happy by Pharrell. So the impact from this project. The crowd really enjoyed the songs, and so did the band members, and so they loved that we were getting new songs into the inventory and getting rid of some old ones that some people didn't know. So I'm hoping that the upcoming band members will continue to update the songs as the years go by. So the important lesson. So while going through all the music in the inventory in the band room, I got a newfound appreciation for all of the music that I'm hoping I will still have later on in life, especially if I play in band in college. So if I got the chance to start over on this project, I would definitely add a lot more songs, maybe get them from offline, or I would also include more songs into the football games, since we have more instrumentation in the football games than in the pep band games. That way we could have some new songs all season long. So I will not be choosing a career in either of these fields, in music or in construction. I plan on going into engineering, specifically chemical engineering, although I do think that some of the problem-solving skills and some of the construction skills will be helpful later on in life. I did have fun with this project, both of them actually. I had fun picking out and playing all of the new songs in band, and I also enjoyed building the ramp with my dad and also my brother. I'm hoping that the upcoming band students will continue to update the songs, and I'm hoping that my grandmother will be able to come over more often nowadays. So I want to thank you for listening to my capstone, and thank you for your time.